Hey guys, it's been a while. I apologize for the time delay between these videos. I just have a lot going on in my life. I work a full-time job with mandatory overtime. I also am in school for digital forensics for my master's degree, so that takes up a big chunk of time. And then the rest of the time that I have, I like spending actually working on my game. I'm not a content creator, and so putting in the time to make these videos is always hard to find. With that said, another cool thing that happened in my life was that my dad and I went to Tanzania, Africa, and hiked Mount Kilimanjaro. We actually made it all the way to the top, and I'm actually very proud of that. Since I got back, I've been working on this game quite a bit. I really want to push through, get this game done, because I do think that it has a lot of potential. As I said before, I'm not a content creator, but if you guys are interested in any of my traveling experience or educational topics, just reach out, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk with you about them and maybe even make a video if you're interested. But this video is on my game. Where am I? How far do I have left? And what have I been up to? So stay tuned. So I'm going to start this video off fairly simply by talking about the name of the game. I've been working under the name of Mowing Madness. As I stated in previous videos, this game is about mowing lawns. You start a company, you have to build that company, and you have to gain more traction, get more contracts. There's not much madness in it, so Mowing Madness really didn't fit anymore. So I thought about it a bit, and I came up with the name The Mogul of Mowing, or maybe just Mowing Mogul. If you guys have any thoughts on this or have name suggestions of your own, please just drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. My vision for this game is as follows. You start off with a relatively small company. You only have so many contracts, and the yards that you mow give you more money. You can then use that money to upgrade mowers, to make them quicker, better, and make your life easier. And as you go, you also get more contracts. This is relatively normal for this type of game. The twist comes, however, in that there's a time system. So each yard takes so much time in-game to mow. That time translates then into a day and week system. Much like in real life, every contract, every yard that you have has to be mowed each in-game week. When you first start off, this isn't a problem because you don't have many yards to mow. They're not very big, and you can generally get them done in that 1 week time frame. As the game progresses, however, you get more contracts. These contracts quickly build up to be something that you can't handle on your own. This is where the employees come in. You can use that money to hire new employees. These employees have different statistics such as reliability or work ethic, which can affect how they mow the lawns. It could be that one day someone who has a low reliability is scheduled to mow a lawn, but they don't show up. So now you have to figure out how to mow that lawn, get it mowed within the week. Is that delegating it to another employee or mowing it yourself? So where am I in the development of this game? Early on, I located a asset on the Unity Asset Store for the grass. It was a grass shader that could be cut. I tried making a shader myself before this, and it just went way over my head. I am not a graphics programmer. And therefore, I figured this grass shader that I found would have to work. So I downloaded it and imported it into the sandbox environment I had set up to prototype my game. Very quickly, I was able to get it implemented and start testing it out. I found myself playing around with it and cutting the grass for quite a while, and I really enjoyed it. It was very relaxing, and I figured this was a good prototype and that this game could be fun. After playing around with the cutting mechanic prototype and realizing that it was fun and was a viable game idea, I decided to start work on my demo. For the demo, I wanted a small yet highly polished vertical slice of the final game. To do so, I decided upon making 3 different levels: a small yard, a medium yard, and a large yard. Each of the yards would provide enough money for the player to purchase the next mower. Those next mowers would be better suited for the yards that they had to mow next. So the player would start off with the push mower on the small yard. The push mower is kind of tedious, it's slow, and the turning radius isn't great. Once that small yard is completed, then the player can purchase the riding lawnmower. The riding lawnmower is a bit faster and has a better turning radius, but still not great. After the medium yard is mowed, the player will have enough money to purchase the zero turn mower, which has a zero radius turn and is a bit quicker, and that is best suited for the cemetery level, which is the large level that I have created for this demo. I decided not to add employees to my demo for now. 3 yards just isn't enough to warrant employees yet. However, I do plan on updating the demo or creating a second one that includes the addition of employees. So now that I know what's going to be in the demo, where at in that process am I? Being a programmer first and foremost means that I enjoy working on the systems in this game. Therefore, I first implemented the mowers that I wanted. I have the 3 mowers in there, and they move. I do have to do some tweaking to get them feeling correct, but we'll talk about that later. They do cut the grass. The grass can be saved off and restored. And to do that, I did have to modify the shader a little bit. However, I know just enough to be effective with shaders. And if I have to make my own, I can't do it. But if I have someone else who made one and I need to modify that, generally speaking, I'm able to do so. I also have the employees in the game, but they're not going to be in the demo just because 3 yards doesn't warrant employees. I also have the money system in, so you earn money when you mow a yard, and then you can use that to buy new mowers. And I also have the time system in. When it comes to the other aspects of game development, I'm a total newbie, especially with like environmental design and anything relating to art. However, this past week I did work on the environment. Earlier, I had worked on the small level, got that implemented, moved on to the larger, medium-sized level, and that's in the game. I think it looks fairly good. However, the crowning achievement came this last week when I made the cemetery level. Personally, I think that is one of the best looking levels in the game right now, and I'm very proud of the environmental design that I have for it. A little bit of post-processing also helped. That took a little bit of tweaking and messing around with, but I did get it feeling correct. Aside from working on the environment, I also added a particle effect system to the mowers that shows the grass getting blown out of them. I really haven't done much with particle systems before, just a little bit here and there. And this was pretty interesting because not only did I have to create the particle system itself, but I also had to use a particle system force field, which I had no idea was even a feature in Unity, to get it blowing out correctly. And personally, I think it looks pretty good. Now this begs the question, what do I have left? I have the 3 mowers in, I have the yards in, I have the core concept and gameplay of the demo in and working. So what's left? And to be honest, I think I still have a decent amount left, unfortunately. And all of that comes in polish. I have to add sound effects. I have to get an actual zero-turn mower model, which is actually proving very hard. I cannot find one anywhere, and as I said prior, my art skills are very lacking. So that might take a little bit. Aside from that, I want to touch up the UI. I'm not an artist, probably never will be, and even though the main menu I think looks pretty cool, the placeholder UI that I have in for the game and the progress and all that sort of stuff just is lacking. Probably the most important thing that I need to touch up is the movement of the mowers. Right now, they work and they're functional, but they don't really feel that good. Recently, I've been playing a lot of Hollow Knight Silksong, and the mechanics in that game feel so amazing. When I'm making something that people will pay money for, I feel bad when it doesn't feel as good as it could. Um, I don't know what's wrong with them. I've been messing around and trying to get them to feel better, and recently I've made them a bit better, but they're still not where I want them to be. Uh, they just feel a little clunky to me. So touching that up and getting that working correctly and feeling how I want it to feel is definitely first and foremost on my list of things to do. Aside from that, sound effects and more particle systems. I want to add more feedback and just in general a lot more polish to the game. Once I have all that stuff finalized and touched up correctly, um, probably the next big step that I have is to create my Steam page. I'm not really a videographer, I'm not a content creator, nothing like that, so making trailers and screenshots that look good, um, creating a description for the game, and just compiling everything into a page that shows off what I'm making and why I think it's so good is going to be a little tough, but like everything with this, it's a process and it's a learning process. This is the first time doing it, and the first time doing anything is a little scary and a little tough, but with practice and the more I do it, I'm hopeful that I will be able to successfully create a Steam page that catches people's eye and gives me the attention that I'm looking for. The bottom line here is that I am extremely happy and proud with the progress that I've made so far and the game that I am bringing to life. I think that there is a lot of potential for this game to bring happiness, relaxation, and joy to people, and I'm hopeful that I can bring that out and really make this game what I think it could be. With that said, if you guys also agree with me, you want to see more content, you want to follow my journey, I'm not a content creator. I don't post videos all the time. I try to update you guys when I can. And if that's something that you look forward to or are interested in, feel free to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.